Good evening, I'm Jason Vio. This is CBC Windsor News. Thanks for watching. Well, a bit of a chaotic day at St. Clair College. An ongoing strike among support staff escalated today, causing administration to cancel classes at its main campus. The CBC's Jacob Barker explains.
So there have been big presences at both entrances to St. Clair College campus today, with support workers heightening their strike action, stopping vehicles, blocking them from entering the campus, and at times that turned into some tense scenes. In response to this, the college has shut down the campus and canceled classes. The union here says they are working with police.
If students live in residence, we are allowing them through Highway 3 with Schlegel Village. Obviously, we are allowing the staff to cross. We are allowing the ambulances and medical care to cross that as well. We're just holding not them up, but the students who are coming on campus.
An organizer here says this is happening due to a breakdown in talks between the union and the College Employer Council, or CEC. The province-wide strike has gone on now for 21 days. The main sticking point here, job security. Buses brought workers from Fanshawe College in London and Lambton College in Sarnia to show their support.
We tried to have mediation last weekend, and after over 50 hours of trying to come to a deal, the employer walked away for the second time. And this is our stance that we're taking, and you know, we're amping things up, and we need them to listen that we are fighting here for our jobs.
The CEC says the union presented them with 2 ultimatums over the weekend, one regarding the outsourcing of staff, the other asking for a prohibition on managers speaking with students about student aid or study habits, things the college has been saying they couldn't agree with since June.
We wrote to them on Sunday afternoon, urging them to reconsider, and we actually asked them to send our offer out to all of their members so that their members could see the proposals that were on the table. But they haven't done that. So we sent them out to as many people as we could and made it available on our website.
Students who made their way to school missed some critical work.
We had like in-class quiz and assignments to do, but nothing can be done.
Do you think taking the step of stopping people from getting in is a good one, though?
No comment on that, but they also need their pay. They also have families to feed.
Others joined in.
At first I was upset about this specifically, but I talked to people and I kind of listened and learned, and what they're doing isn't right. They're trying to privatize our education. They're just out for the money, really.
There are limitations, and when it gets to the health and safety of people using the campus, gaining access to the campus, stopping the students from learning completely, to me that's crossed the line, and it's extremely unfortunate.
The union says with the out-of-town presence, they were putting on a big show today, but moving forward, their local staff will continue to be on the picket line as long as the strike continues. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Windsor.
The jury will soon start deliberating in the first-degree murder trial of Brian Marbury. He's accused of killing his estranged wife here in Windsor. The CBC's Kathleen Sailors has the latest.
It was a brief morning in Superior Court here in the Brian Aaron Marbury first-degree murder trial. After just about a half hour of questions from the Crown and a few from the defense in cross-examination, the Crown announced that it was wrapping its evidentiary case in the Marbury murder trial, and the defense announced the same. Lawyer Kenneth Marley said he would not be calling any witnesses in his client's murder trial. Brian Aaron Marbury has previously pleaded guilty to causing an indignity to human remains, but he remains on trial for first-degree murder in the death of his estranged wife, Zara Boulay. The Crown has previously given the jury evidence about Brian Marbury's movements in and around the weekend of May 26th through 29th, 2023. But they've also heard that Boulay's cause of death is inconclusive because of the condition of her remains, and Marley has suggested other ways that Boulay may have died. Now that the evidence has wrapped, the jury has been dismissed until Monday morning. From there, they'll hear closing arguments from both sides and both lawyers' theories of the case. From there, they'll receive instructions from the judge about what to do with the evidence they've heard over the last 2.5 weeks. From there, they'll be sequestered and eventually come to a verdict. Kathleen Sailors, CBC News, Windsor.
And if you're near the intersection of Wyandotte Street and Bruce Avenue, you may notice a new refrigerator by the side of the road. It's plugged in and open for anyone to donate or take food. Video producer Mike Evans stopped by to see how the service works.
Hi, my name is Nikita Patito. We're talking about the community fridge today. The idea started off on campus, and it was something that the DWCC was also able to help me with. And then we kind of just put the idea together from there. It opened up officially in September, and now it's been a month, so I'm excited to see, how far it goes. Community Fridge works on donations. It also works on the community as well. The idea simply is, take what you need, leave what you can. We operate on that principle, so if you're able to donate or if you are looking for food, the fridge is always welcome to you. Tomatoes, any kind of fresh produce, any kind of fresh fruit, that's what we're looking for at the moment. It's awesome to see people not only talk about food insecurity, talk about what that means to them, but also want to donate and want to help out and support us.
It acts really similar to a little library, right? Everyone sees little libraries around with books. This is the same thing, but with food. We have to monitor it because it's food as well, right? People think it's a great idea. People who have used food banks know how difficult it can be. Different food banks have different hours and you're going all over the place. So trying to keep this barrier free, helps with that access. We have this space right here. It's on our property that we're leasing right now. So we're experimenting to see, if we can make this work here. We've been trying to reach out to individuals within our community, see if they can help support it as well. This is about, people supporting people, and we're trying to do it as direct as possible.
And Colette, a pretty comfortable day outside today, I'd say.
Yeah, after starting off from 12 degrees this morning, quite the warm up to 26. Had some hazy skies there for a time, but you see the warmth is here in southwestern Ontario and still some of that cooler air towards central eastern parts of the province. But it's the heat from the west that's going to continue to carry into our region. And as it does, those temperatures keep going up. Could be some areas of patchy fog tonight, 11 degrees for the low, but tomorrow we're up to 28, only a little bit of humidity, some extreme warmth coming our way. I'll talk about it when I come back.
All right, thanks so much, Colette. Well, the number of people asking for a judge to review an immigration decision is projected to rise to unprecedented levels this year. Many of these cases are people seeking a study permit, a work permit, or a visitor visa for Canada, and the federal court is becoming overwhelmed. Shayna Luck has that story.
Over your career, have you seen something comparable to this happen before?
No, this is actually quite an extraordinary surge in our volume.
The federal court's Chief Justice Paul Crampton has spent 16 years on the bench. Recently, he's watched certain types of immigration filings shoot up. Staff project they'll rise to more than 30,000 cases this year. That's compared to about 6,000 a year before the pandemic. Court staff can't keep up, and some cases are taking more than a year to complete.
Well, at the end of the day, it's confidence in our immigration system and the integrity of the immigration system. It's confidence in the justice system, confidence in the courts. It's access to justice.
The court's administration service says it has not received an increase in funding to handle the workload. The Justice Minister, Sean Fraser's office, said he appreciates this perspective and will continue discussions on these issues, but it gave no other details. Some immigration lawyers say their clients feel no choice but to go to court because with millions of applicants, it's now more difficult to get help within the immigration department.
The overall chance of getting a response, and particularly of getting a positive response, is very low. I don't want to say it's zero, but it's become much less an effective way of trying to get a resolution.
And this lawyer says the immigration department tends to issue refusal letters that are generic and brief, increasing the chances applicants will go to court.
And they don't feel that they've had that opportunity to be meaningfully heard in the application. And what has that led? To runaway litigation.
The Immigration Department says this summer it started issuing more information on why applications are refused, and it has a web form where people can report errors. But lawyers say that's not satisfying for many clients. The Chief Justice says the courts will keep bending over backwards to handle the workload, but he warns without proper court resources, the rule of law and democracy could suffer. Shayna Luck, CBC News, Halifax.
Defending the Arctic is vital to Canada's future, and the threats are real. Reporter David Common recently visited the North for a closer look at how the military and the local communities are standing on guard for the country's sovereignty.
The Navy, Air Force, Army, and Coast Guard have gathered to practice what is considered a likely threat. A suspect boat potentially approaching sensitive military sites here, possibly involved in espionage, even sabotage. All this a simulated exercise to assert Canada's Arctic sovereignty, something more important now than perhaps ever before.
So you get tasked with this. How do you actually proceed now?
So now that we've been tasked for it, we're going to go and take a look and try and find this person. Follow with us.
It's up to Commander Scott Kellerman to locate the boat and the people on board, a needle in a vast Arctic haystack.
Well, we have satellites and other detection equipment to figure out who is in our waters. A lot of that is quite old, and so they still use people to watch out for ships and strangers who are passing through our Arctic waterways and lands.
That's good. For nearly 80 years, Canada has relied on the local know-how of the red-coated rangers to help patrol this territory.
Yeah.
They live here, so it's a permanent presence. Many are Inuit, intimately familiar with the land and water.
They need to know how to survive out on the land.
At 71 years old, Titus Alulu of Pond Inlet, or Mitimatalik, has been a part-time ranger for close to half a century.
Our job is to be in our area to observe and to listen and to see. If we see anything abnormal that isn't supposed to be there, we report it to headquarters.
A sentinel standing on guard for Canada in the north. The Navy ship gets set to deploy its fast boat, and we're along for the journey as it sets off through the fog to interdict what is believed to be suspicious activity.
And that's the CBC's David Common reporting. Well, Health Canada says more than 5 million Canadians are now covered by the federal dental care plan, but the latest data reveals nearly half of those eligible have not visited a dentist.
Close to 2.8 million have already received care, saving them on average close to $800 per year.
It's been 6 months since the federal government expanded the program to cover those ages 18 to 64. To qualify, you must have a household income of under $90,000. Health Canada says close to 100% of active dentists are now treating patients through the program, and that's a significant jump after the initial uptake was low. Well, protective gear comes in all shapes and sizes. A new piece of equipment being developed incorporates smart technology camouflaged by the clothing it zips into. John Ngala has the story.
What if a pair of pants could soften the blow from a fall? That's exactly what these smart pants are for. They're intelligent wearable trousers with built-in sensors and an airbag that scan a person's movement in real time, so when a fall is about to happen, the airbag inflates to protect the user from the impact.
Our goal, of course, is to reduce injuries caused by falls. That's like the catch-all goal. My personal goal is to save at least one life, right?
The garment is called Air Secure. The way the technology works is, once this membrane is zipped into the pants, the part that detects when you're about to fall triggers this cartridge that then inflates.
And fills this whole membrane here, and this wraps around you on your waist, and you are cushioned when you hit the ground.
So something like this.
It's funny because, you know, you're sure if you fall, you have protection. So it was a great feeling to know that. Yeah.
This expert says 50 to 60% of his patients come in because of falls. He says it's too early to know if the product will help decrease hospital visits among seniors.
I don't think we have the data on the inflatable hip protectors yet. I can tell you that there's some data on the hip protectors that are used in nursing homes. There have been shown to be some decreased rate of fractures.
But Hawk says he's optimistic.
So I'm actually quite excited to see how AI can help our aging population. I think there is a lot of potential there, and I'm quite intrigued by the opportunities that await us in terms of falls prevention.
The goal is to reduce the fear of falling and get people back, mobile, which is super important to keep that independence as you age.
Bolduc says the product is being piloted and that with the help of investors, the pants are expected to hit the market next year. John Ngala, CBC News, Montreal.
We'll have more news for you coming up right after the break. Stay with us. Police in the UK say 2 people have been killed and at least 4 others are seriously injured after an attack outside a Manchester synagogue on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Authorities have now identified the suspect as a 35-year-old British citizen.
This attack has been officially declared as a terrorist incident, and the investigation is now being led by counter-terrorist police. In addition, I can confirm that 2 other individuals have been arrested in connection with this incident.
Police say they shot and killed the suspect, who was believed to be carrying a bomb. 3 other people have been arrested on suspicion of preparing acts of terrorism. Authorities say the suspect drove a car into pedestrians and stabbed a security guard near the synagogue. Officials confirm both victims who were killed were members of the Jewish community. 2 years of war in Gaza has largely taken the spotlight off of what's happening in the West Bank. But confrontation there has continued, leaving Palestinians alarmed for their future. Paul Hunter reports.
On a hillside along the Jordan Valley in the occupied West Bank, Ibrahim Salameh surveys the rubble which, until 2 weeks ago, was his house. He lived here until the day Israeli forces pulled up with heavy equipment and flattened it, saying he had no permit. My life is over, he told us. I'm unable to feed my children. I was unable to protect my home. There's nothing I can do. Salameh, a farm worker, is far from alone in his worries. The broad fear in this region, as the world's attention is focused on the Gaza Strip, is that Israel is slowly, surely moving toward taking much of this, toward annexing the fertile lands farmed by Palestinians for so long. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged as much back in 2019 with a campaign promise to take the Jordan Valley, a notion Israeli politicians had talked about for decades, though facing international condemnation for that, Netanyahu has not followed through. But meanwhile, Israeli forces regularly demolish Palestinian structures here, often, it says, to enforce building regulations. Azim Haj Mohammed, mayor of the village of Farouche Bayat Dajan, with his own pile of rubble, what was meant to be a civic building, knocked down earlier this year, he says, by Israeli forces, again citing permit issues. We say that we're on our land, he says. We're in our homes. We will keep this land and we will not leave it. Echoed at this fruit farm a few kilometers away, where owner Mohammed Sadeh, who supplies dates for clients in Canada and worldwide, told us Israeli forces raided the place this week, leaving it intact, but his workers rattled. We want to live in peace, he says. We don't want to start a war. We want our children to live, to have rights like anyone else around the world. All of it's left Palestinians here with a simple message to Israel.
What do you say to Benjamin Netanyahu?
What have we done, he says. Why is this happening? Paul Hunter, CBC News, in the Jordan Valley in the occupied West Bank.
The Liberal government has unveiled a new national procurement agency. The Defense Investment Agency is aimed at speeding up the purchase and delivery of military equipment.
The goal or aim of this agency is to equip the Canadian Armed Forces with the tools and equipment they need at the speed of relevance, bringing Canadian industry into the tent to stimulate our own economy and to create good-paying jobs for Canadians.
The new agency will deal with all purchases above $100 million and have the authority to enter contracts free from a complex and lengthy approval process. The goal is to buy Canadian whenever possible. It's also mandated to work closely with allies, including the UK, France, and Australia. Currently, Canada buys most of its military equipment from the US. And a young planet is going through a growth spurt that's grabbing the attention of astronomers. Now, this is an animation showing its behavior. New observations show it's pulling in space debris at record-breaking levels, at about 6 billion tons per second to be precise. The observations provide insight into how rogue planets, those are planets that do not orbit the stars, behave and grow in their infancy. And we'll be right back with Colette for a look at weather.
beautiful.
Colette Kennedy joins us for a live look at weather, and what a great day for baseball again today, Colette, and the Tigers winning the wild card series, I hear.
Yes, just kind of wrapping it up here towards the beginning of our show. I admit I may have had it on the TV on my desk instead of the news to see that event. So yeah, good news for the Tigers, and moving on now here. Sorry for those Guardians, but oh well. And let's just show you what's going on in terms of, I don't think anyone's going to be sorry about the weather that's coming our way, or maybe a few of you are. I know people like the fall and the fall feel, and I think we're going to get plenty more of that, but we're getting a taste of summer, even though it's the first weekend of October that is coming up. So just looking at that temperature pattern, there is still some cooler air to the north and east, and that will be moving through the northwest, but with an upper ridge, the real heat is going to be pushing right in, not just centered in the central U.S., but pushing right in across the Great Lakes and kind of taking over. I know it's pretty pleasant today, but I mean even warmer than that. And as we go through Saturday, even into Sunday, still in place, but what starts to happen on Monday is some of this cooler air to the north is going to start squeezing along a cold front in our direction. Monday is still warm. In fact, that last push of southwesterly flow, it could be the warmest day of about the next 4. And then as we move towards Tuesday, we get one of those sort of transition days. Temperatures start to come down. We get a chance for some showers, which will be needed. And then it's a little cooler into Wednesday. So that's kind of the pattern coming our way. Really nice today. We were up to 26 degrees, 23 now. We still have that wind flow kind of multi-directional here, but some northerly flow, some coming in towards off the lake. Once it gets more southerly to southwesterly, and we really get that into tomorrow and the weekend, then the temperatures warm quite a bit. Now, there's still a risk of some patchy fog overnight tonight. We could get into that. We had some haziness earlier today. Other than that, a few clouds maybe Saturday morning, but this ridge of high pressure mostly just bestows full-on sunshine for us. So overnight tonight, still close to seasonal, near 10 degrees, 11 degrees for our low. But what happens is the overnight temperatures get mild by the time we get to tomorrow night. And look at those readings. Yes, flirting with 30 degrees as we move through the weekend and into Monday. It is possible we could hit that mark.
All right, thanks so much, Colette. And that does it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Have a good night.